Boom. Bueno, bienvenidos a Krav Maga TV. Aquí estamos con Sharir Richman. Sharir, welcome to our show, our friend, our brother. How you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
We're doing good. We're doing good. So, well, I think that the first thing is, how is everything in Israel so far?
Regarding the recent events,
Yeah, regarding the recent events, yes.
well, now it's quiet down. Some sort of a ceasefire. It's what happens every I would say every 4 years. There's another round, a couple of days, 10 or 12 days, and a ceasefire.
Yeah, complicated.
Yeah.
Well, we're here to talk mostly about pretty much everything, especially Krav Maga, self-defense, and the plans that we have for the future with ICCS and ICCS Pro for Costa Rica, for Latin America, and for the worldwide. So, well, first of all, there's a lot of people that really don't know you. So I would like you to introduce yourself. Who are you? What's your background? And yeah, what do you do? And well, just introduce yourself.
Well, I'm Sharir Richman, ICCS founder and instructor. I'm also the head coach of MMA Jerusalem. And yeah, we're an international organization. We have schools all over the world. That's the one.
That's the one.
That's it. That's what we do.
Okay, so because people will maybe ask, well, what's your background? How you get involved in the the Krav Maga? Why we can tell that you are like a big reference for Krav Maga?
Yeah. Well, my background. Well, I started martial arts when I was 6 years old. My background was boxing, wrestling. Now, well, I'm doing martial arts my whole life, basically. And make a long story short, I joined the IDF years ago, and I'm one of the Krav Maga instructors there as well now. So I've been doing it for a very long time. When I finished my first service, I started to teach Krav Maga for a big private security company, and I was teaching like MMA and wrestling for civilians, and Krav Maga I was only doing for this big private security company. I was doing VIP protection. I was doing private military, regular military, police, law enforcement for many years. There was a time where I would teach up to 2,000 people a month.
Wow.
Yeah, and I had no real interest in teaching Krav Maga like for civilians. I didn't. Actually, I love martial arts. I was just like enjoying my MMA and grappling, and I was doing that. That part was for like in my eyes, people who needed it. And it's a whole other world. And then one of the courses, there was a guy from Europe who came for a VIP protection course, and he was like, I'm a Krav Maga instructor. Europe and this and that. I was like, okay, yeah, respect. And then he said, what you do is very different than anything I ever saw. And I'm like, okay, I didn't really pay much attention to it. And he says, you should do it like all over the world. Why are you only doing it like that? I was like, I was like, I do my stuff, my thing. And for 3 weeks, he was bugging me. Like, you should do seminars. You should say, I was like, nah. And then one day, he showed me this video on YouTube. I'm not going to name any names. It's a big Krav Maga name. Up to then, you have to understand, I never even Googled, like, YouTube Krav Maga. I didn't give a shit. Right?
Okay.
And he says, you know what this is? I'm like, that's Kung Fu. I guess. He's like, no. That's Krav. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Because he says, you see, people need to know. So we organized the first training in it was in France, and like forest fire spread, you know. And then I started ICCS, and yeah, thank God. I mean, it's a real family.
Oh, cool. Well, what would we say that, what can we say that it's the difference between ICCS Krav Maga and other organizations or schools?
Good question. Well, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna water it down. Okay, I'll just say how it is. Like, with respect to everybody, there is a load of bullshit when it comes
Yeah.
not just to Krav Maga, but when it comes to all reality-based systems.
Mhm.
And one of the reasons is that they don't really ever need to prove themselves.
Right.
You know, it's all like theoretical. You know, attack me with a knife, I do ABC. You know, I kick his ass. You know, grab my shirt, grab my hair, all that stuff. But they never really, you know, they never really train. And the sad truth is that any low-level amateur boxer would probably kick their ass in a street fight.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
just because he has a habit of fighting, just because he's used to fighting. And you know, I believe in hard training. Like there's a so everybody says they believe in hard training. Everybody says they do. You know,
Yeah,
they'll
hard
tell you
stuff.
that they do. Yeah, they do. You know, training under pressure. They don't even know what it means in many cases.
Mm.
You know, so
Yes.
here comes ICCS, and we train under pressure, but we also spar, we also grapple. You know, you have ICCS students all over the world who compete in boxing and MMA, professional fighters. And yeah, I think that's one of the biggest differences. You know, you know, we work, you know, under real pressure, full force. I think the bottom line in a fight, you know, in any fight, is how well you can do it under pressure. You know, so you have a lot of technicians out there that they're really good at technique. I mean, to an untrained eye, it might look nice, but to a trained professional, it'd be like, nah, that's never gonna work.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, sir.
And I think that we see a lot of that lately. And well, here in Costa Rica, I can tell myself that in the past years, we receive, even now, a few days ago, we receive guys coming from other Krav Maga schools and organizations. And to be honest, and given my respectful uh, point of view, is just embarrassed. They don't even, people are coming to our school with 3 or 4 years of Krav Maga and they feel like very scared. They don't even know how to punch.
Yeah, usually they don't even know that they don't know.
Yeah, yeah, no, of course.
You know?
I mean, I never,
Yeah,
I never did respect nobody, and I just, you just see it. There's people that
yeah,
they don't even know how to punch. They don't even know how to protect themselves. If
yeah.
you kind of wrestle a little bit with them, it's just like
I
grabbing like
can't
a
tell
child.
you, you know, I can't tell you how many times I have people who come to my class and tell me, you know, and they don't do Krav MMA or something, and they'll tell me like, I saw this Krav Maga instructor, and he can't punch. So you know, he loses all his credibility on the spot.
Right,
You
right.
know, right? It's some people take the bridge version. They'll do a 3 week instructor course, and nobody can prove them wrong because they don't really fight. You know, it's all theoretical.
Well, and especially a 3 week course is a long course because there's a lot of 3 day course.
Yeah, you know, only in you know, not just Krav Maga, all reality basis. You only have those kind of stuff. To have a guy who might come into the class and say, you know, I'm this, I'm that, I'm badass, and we're like, wow, you know, be careful. Try to do that in any full contact gym. Try to go into a Thai boxing gym, a jiu-jitsu gym, an MMA gym, and say, me, I'm a professional fighter. You'll have to prove yourself
Oh
within
yeah.
the first 5 minutes. You know, the bullshit meter will go on, and people will wait online to kick your ass.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
that's true.
yeah. So like in ICCS, we don't have that bullshit. You know, we do the with those vests. We go really hard. You know, instructor test. You got to wrestle. You got to MMA fight. You got to, you know, you got to prove yourself. So it's also kind of humbling. You know, it's like you know, you'll see what's real, what's not real, really quickly when you train, when you actually get punched in your face.
Yeah.
And you know, you could go through like 20 years of martial arts, and if you all you work with is with agreements, and like slowly, you know, it's better off you do Zumba. At least you lose weight. You know.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I see a lot of medals and trophies behind you.
You
What's all
buy?
about?
Do you buy?
It's all from Amazon.
All from Amazon.
Do you buy?
No, I have a, I got like I got a good team.
Okay.
A competition team?
Yeah, I got an MMA competition team. I have some grappling champions, some MMA champions, a couple pro fighters. Yeah, they're all downstairs right now, training.
Well, there's a lot of people that normally, well, I have heard before, MMA is not for street fight. MMA is just different from Krav Maga. What can you tell about MMA
Oh, that's a
into
good question.
self-defense?
That's a long answer. Well, so bear with me. First of all, um, take it back a step. I train. I give seminars all over the world. And I can tell you that outside of ICCS schools, all the students, no matter what country they're from, all the Krav Maga students who come seminars have one thing in common. You know what that is?
No.
All of them have a victim mentality. All of them.
Victim mentality.
Victim mentality. That's all of them have that. And that's why they go to train Krav, right? Because they think if I'll train Krav, I'll learn to defend myself. But because they're afraid of fighting, they'll train Krav, right? So they start off with a victim mentality, and then because of a bad instructor, he just feeds into that victim mentality more and more. Now, if you go to an MMA school, Thai boxing school, you won't see that. The people who choose to go to MMA is because they like to fight.
Yeah.
Now, that's why they do that. Now, if they like to fight, that's already 99% of the job done for them. A lot of times when a student will come to me, they call me up, come and say, listen, I want to do Krav. I'll ask him, do you have any experience? If he says no, I'll tell him, listen, join my MMA club for 6 months, then I'll teach you Krav. Because you can't do knife defense if you can't get hit in your face, if you never got hit before.
That's
It
true.
doesn't make any sense, right?
Absolutely.
Now,
Yes.
people love to diss, oh, we do reality training, so yeah, I don't spar because I'll kill you. Oh, sure you will. Sure you will. Oh, I'll just put a finger in your eye. You know something? That is because people are lazy. 1, 2, they can't spar. Anybody who could spar would spar. Right? Sparring, just boxing gloves, is one of the most important elements for street fighting. A, it gets you in the habit of punching people, which most people don't have that. B,
Yeah.
it gets you in the habit of getting hit, which most people don't have that, right? C, you're training under pressure, because when someone's trying to hit you, hitting them back, that's pressure, thinking under pressure. So all those, and there's more, all those elements are so important for a street, and people are missing that because, oh, it's a sport. And by the way, they say it's a sport. Let me tell you something. When the other person across the cage or across the ring wants to kick your head off, it's a real fight.
Oh, that's true.
I don't care if there's a referee in there or not. It's a real fight. And the sensation that you have when you're in there is the closest you'll feel to a real fight. Right? So you have an MMA fighter who has a habit of fighting, who's a competitor, who likes to win. You think he'll be afraid of fighting you in the street?
That's true. And
And then
besides
you
that,
do
has a
Krav
lot
Maga
of
twice a week,
and has a lot of tools to work against
Exactly.
you.
I'll give you like a little example. So imagine this scenario. Imagine there's a guy, he's in a bar, and he's had a little too much to drink. He's been doing Krav Maga for the past 2 years, right? Twice a week. He's a badass. Now, imagine if he's doing Krav Maga for 2 years, twice a week. It's an hour-and-a-half class, let's say, probably even less. They talk for 15 minutes. They flirt for another 15 minutes. Then they have 1 or 2 techniques. He's never been to a fight in his life. Okay, 2 years, twice a week. I mean, he's got like 20 hours of Krav. Then he gets a little bit too much to drink, and in the same bar, you got a wrestler, a competitive wrestler. They're both 30 years old. You know how many double legs he did in his life by the time he started when he was 6? How many double legs did he do by the time he's 30? I would say millions.
Yeah.
Under pressure, in competition, and when people resist. Now they both had a little too much to drink. There's a face-off. The Krav Maga guy, he knows theoretically I could put a finger in his eye and stop the fight. He's never done it in his life.
Or kick his groin.
Yeah, he's never done
Which is
that either.
the popular
He's
thing.
never done that either. Who do you think is going to blink first?
Oh yeah, the wrestler.
Double leg is part of his. It's what he does. That's what he does. You do it as a. Sorry, try not to curse. You do it as a hobby. That's the difference. You know, you have to respect. Full contact fighters are not something, not to respect. You got to respect those people because they're dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
They don't mind punching you, taking you down ground. They'll love it. You have to have a lot of respect for that, and that's why with ICCS curriculum, we have all the elements of a full contact fighter plus the elements of a street fight. Now creating the perfect fighter. Because if you take a guy who could box like a boxer, who could wrestle like a wrestler, he could do clinch, he could grapple, and he has a street mentality, multiple opponents, knife fighting, awareness, he is a dangerous person, the most dangerous person you'll find. Because he's not lacking anything. Right?
And he's used to fight.
Exactly. He has a habit.
Especially
that's the most important thing. You gotta have a habit of fighting. Now, people come to Krav, like I said before, because they're afraid of fighting. Now, sometimes parents tell their children, child says he's afraid, there's nothing to be afraid of. That's bullshit. Because fear is a real thing that has to be dealt with. Right? So the only way that I know to deal with fear is to do what you're afraid of. Right? If you got a fear of heights, you should go rappelling or jump out of a plane, something like that. So if you have a fear of fighting, what you got to do? You got to fight.
You need to fight.
Put the gloves on and fight. And then some people say, yeah, but you have gloves in the street. We don't have gloves. So fucking what? So
Well,
what? You think I have a problem to punch you without gloves?
Yeah.
I don't want to hurt my hand in training.
Or my sparring partner.
Yeah. And then, kick to the groin. First of all, I got poked in the eye, kicked to the groin numerous times in wrestling matches. And I'm sure you did as a judo guy too. Did you stop? You don't have to stop.
I always say that to the people. I always say that to the people because I normally say, don't ever think that just because you kick somebody in the groin, the fight is going to end. Because I have kicked many times during competition or fighting, and you don't stop. You just keep going.
It could end, but it could very well not end.
Yeah.
It's adrenaline in the body, right? That takes care of pain.
Yeah, or somebody can be on drugs or can be,
An
alcohol, whatever.
An average fight is between 3 to 12 seconds. More than that, it's one-sided. He's already beating on you. Now, during that time, he feels no pain. Again, that's why you got to create damage. It's a whole other subject. But you have to respect people who, he's coming to fight. You get respect for your enemy. Lack of respect will get you killed.
That's true. And I think that one of the things that I really never liked before from other, let's say, like self-defense systems is the thing that it's like hit and run. And how many times you are not able to just hit and run.
Hit and run, yeah. Well, look, or 360 knife defense. Big Krav Maga thing, right? Go now on Google, anybody who's listening, YouTube, wherever you want, Google knife fights, show me one person who pulled it off. One. I've studied thousands of knife attacks, thousands. Show me one.
Yeah.
Who pulled it off? Things evolve. Things evolve. We create, the weapon since 1914 changed to 1948. And the weapon since 1948 till today changed a lot. The rifle is not the same rifle. Why does the Krav Maga have to stay the same?
Yeah, totally agree.
You know, because people don't want to admit it's time to evolve.
And there's another element that is, the UFC and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and all that stuff have grown so much. Muay Thai, and there's a lot of people that have trained, even for a few months,
Yeah, it's
and
very
they
common.
know they have some knowledge of fighting.
Yeah.
And somebody who is not like, well, I'm a martial artist myself many years, and I know many martial artists that have never sparred in their life because of what they do. I'm glad that my sport was very competitive, and somebody's gonna try to break your
The
arms or slam you against the ground and rip your head off.
the
So
fighting
it's
changes. The fighting scene changes. It evolves, and you have to evolve with it. You know, um, I've been to the same area 3 different occasions as a soldier for war, and the 3 different times is a whole different battlefield. Same area. Why? Because they evolve and we evolve.
yeah.
You know, so the training has to evolve all the time.
Well, clearing that point, what are the plans for ICCS, especially now with this lockdown, what worldwide that we have,
Well,
and
uh, I was in the USA last month for pro courses. Actually, I'm gonna go again in 10 days. I'm going to Arizona and I'm going to Alabama, and yeah, so I'm kind of back in the USA again. Europe, I'm still waiting a little bit. It's a little bit. There's still lockdowns over there a little bit. The gyms are still closed. Europe, so hopefully they'll open up soon. But I'm in touch with all the instructors on a daily basis. Everyone's fine, everyone's keeping in shape. Yeah.
and what is because I know that we have some ICCS Pro, but there's a lot of people that don't know what the ICCS Pro part is. So can you tell us a bit more about that?
The pro part, it has to do with all the um, professional style courses. That means that if you're not, you know, as a regular ICCS school, we have follow ICCS curriculum, we do all the the techniques, come a couple times a week to train. Pro courses are for people who come who they want us like very specific topic. We do pro courses for civilians, for military, for law enforcement. Here in Israel, we do ICCS instructors teach all the first responders, all the Israeli first responders, which is a big job. So we have variety of courses, pistol courses, uh, long weapon courses. It could be control restraint courses, too close to shoot, weapon retention. All that falls into the professional ICCS branch.
Okay. Yeah, actually, we're gonna have. Um, well, we already had a seminar in Costa Rica of pro course, shooting course, and we're planning to have another one,
Yeah.
hopefully. Um, so we're planning to have the too close to shoot course, and I would like you to address what is it? What is the
Well,
clue too close to shoot?
in my opinion, that is the most important course for any person who owns a gun, right? In fact, in Israel, if you work security with a gun and you don't go through a version of a too close to shoot course, you cannot work because people understand here how important that knowledge is. So the too close to shoot course goes through everything that has to do with close range fighting when you have a handgun, right? So from correct way of drawing your weapon and shooting to how to deal with a knife attack up close when you have a weapon, boxing, you know, what crowd passing, grappling with the gun. People don't realize, you have a gun on you, it's fine, but the cases where you could actually pull it out legally are small. right? So you get into a fight. The fact that you have a gun on you is a liability. So you got to know how to deal with that as well, how to grapple with the gun. Someone tries to, take your gun from you on the ground or standing, how to create space to get the gun when someone's trying to stab you with a knife. If you have a pistol and you don't have this knowledge, you're going to get screwed big time in a real fight eventually.
Yeah, I think that you need to get ready because sometimes you are not able to pull the gun, even if it's a legal, it's a legal scene where you can really use your gun, but sometimes it's too quick.
It's too close.
Yeah, too
It's just
close and too quick.
too close to shoot.
Right,
It's just,
right.
and also people who rely solely on their gun, and the guy's in their face with a knife already putting it in your chest, and they go for the gun, they're getting stabbed. They're gone, right? If you know how to deflect the attack, push away, create space, or if need be, control the hand with the knife and not go for the gun, then you have a bigger chance of surviving. So also the too close to shoot course is going to have a lot of scenario trainings. So when you have to decide, would I go for the gun now or would I just fight? It was funny because I just did a too close to shoot course in it was Ohio, and these people have they're all shooters with no martial arts experience, just shooters. They're good shooters, but that's it. And first scenario I did was that I took a guy with a knife up close, so in their face with like an argument, and whenever he wants, he pulls a knife out and starts stabbing them. And I told him, you have two options: either fight, try to control the knife, or what you're good with. Go get the gun. Interestingly enough, not one of them went for the gun. Not one of them. I said, I couldn't. So it's an eye opener. It's important, Afterwards, of course, when I taught them, they learned how to create that space to get the gun when you could. But like I said, this course is a must for anybody with a handgun. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. And hopefully we're going to have that here. Well, just a little announcement. If you want to follow Sharir, you can do it. Let's see. You can do it here on his social media, which is pretty interesting. So you can follow them and follow Sharir if you want to know more. Well, what about if we have people watching this program and say, well, I'm very interested. I would like to know more about ICCS, or people who maybe have some background and they think, well, maybe I want to join ICCS. Is that a possibility? Is something that something that they can do?
We're always looking for the family to grow, quality people. ICCS is a family. That's what it is. Family of warriors. And well, if they're in your area and they're Spanish speaking, they could always talk to you. I can't put anything here, but follow Edgar on social media, and he'll help you guys with that.
You have that right here.
We're always looking for more good people to join.
That's cool. So what is the what is the process to join ICCS?
Well, what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring you to an instructor course, and the instructor course is usually 3 parts. So during that time, you do the first few days, you go back home, you train, you teach. I'm in permanent contact with all instructors, helping them, and then they come back and do the second part, come back and do the third part. So it takes time, but during that time, they're getting better and better, and actually training.
Yeah. How long can it take for somebody who's coming new to the ICCS to complete this training to be full instructor?
With experience, he has experience.
Right? Yeah. Let's say I don't know. I'm like a MMA fighter, or I'm a boxer, or I have maybe some background.
Well, to be the full instructor, it might take him up to 3 years.
That's way different than some other organizations.
It might take him up to 3 years. Not that I don't, we'll treat him You know, if a lot of school owners come to me, they're already instructors, so they do the first part. I say, all right, go back. You can teach. You're an official ICCS school, but you're not a full instructor yet. You know, and then I'm in contact with them. We help them out. They come and do the second part, third part. Yeah.
Well, that's cool because you really have time to people to learn, evolve, practice, and get better with time.
Exactly. Exactly.
Oh, awesome, awesome. So, let's see what else I was gonna ask you. Well, yeah, you can follow Sharir
Yeah.
here. You can follow
Yeah.
us here. If you need more information, you can go to our website as well to find out more. And yeah, hopefully we can have more members to join us, especially in Latin
Yeah.
America, that we don't
We're
have
looking
that much.
to expand in that area. Hopefully. Hopefully, like you said, we're gonna have very soon a pro course in Costa Rica. That's exciting. We said we're gonna do also one day of Krav techniques. Is that what we said? If I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Which is good. Yeah, it's great. So good things coming in the future. Looking forward to that.
Well, awesome. That was a great time. It was very nice talking to you. Thanks for your time. Hopefully people start following you and learn a little bit more about ICCS. And hopefully we will have another program in the future with you about
Yeah.
a different topic, not just talking about
Anytime, man.
ICCS.
Anytime. It's great to see you guys.
All right, man. Take care.
Good to see you,
You too,
man.
Jeffrey.
Lots of love from Costa
A
Rica.
a big hug for you, man.
Yeah. You too, man.
Miss
Yeah,
you.
bye-bye.
Miss you.
All right,
Bye-bye.
man. Take care.
Take care.